Hey, happy Friday, everybody. It's Maria Rini from the Welcome Home team and behind the camera.
Hi, everybody. It's Corey.
Thanks for being here, Corey, as usual. And today we are so excited to be with Dr. Sarah Fitzgerald. So thank you for being with us today.
Sure, no
Dr. Sarah.
problem.
So tell us just a little, before we launch into today's discussion, tell us a little about your practice.
Sure. I'm an adult child and adolescent psychiatrist. My practice is located here in Ridgefield Park. And because of the pandemic, at this time I'm doing telehealth visits.
Okay, so you've been at this a couple of years now. And
yeah,
you had to
several
pivot.
years. Yeah, I had to pivot, especially when the pandemic happened. We all know overnight our lives changed. Stores were closed, everything was closed, and just trying to figure things out. But I moved to telehealth visits, and it's been really great.
All right, so you're able to help more people.
Yes.
During this crazy time.
Mm-hmm.
How have things changed? Number of patients?
Sure. I mean, I've been very busy through this pandemic. Anyone that's been in mental health has been increasingly more busy because there's more need. But because I am remote, meaning offering video visits, I'm able to see patients that are hours away and actually in New York. So I'm able to help more people.
That's terrific. And the kids are fine with the video.
Yeah, some kids are a little camera shy, but for the most part, everyone's kind of adapted.
Super. So it's a tough time for everybody.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Talk to us about how we can make it better. Tell us about positivity and how to stay positive in this environment.
Sure. The usual answers where it's like, all right, think positive. I mean, you can think positive, but I think there's a little bit more to that. Given that the complexity of what's going on right now, and how it's stressing us all in different ways, I think it's important to kind of keep a couple of things in mind when you're trying to be, positive. And so, one of the first things I wanted to mention was talking about just accepting your emotions. Denying how you feel when something is going on or really stressful. I mean, initially can seem okay, but long term doesn't really help you. So if you would just acknowledge your feelings, and then from there you could say, okay, tomorrow may be better, or in an hour may be better. I think it's better than just trying to ignore how you feel.
So, no, don't just give into it, but acknowledge, hey, I am feeling this way.
Yeah, that's right. And so if you know how you're feeling, then you can do different things to make yourself feel better in a healthy way. So if you know, man, I'm feeling really tired today, and because I'm tired, I'm cranky, say, okay, maybe you need a nap today, or you need to maybe take a walk or get a massage. Do you see what I'm saying? If you know how you're feeling, then you can maybe come up with ways to kind of help yourself feel better.
Gotcha. Okay. How about connectedness?
Yeah, so that's also really important. Definitely making connections with people is really going to help you stay positive, because then you're not alone. This pandemic has definitely created a space where people are pretty siloed and separated from each other. And so, scheduling Zoom meetings with people, or scheduling times to talk with other people is really good. Or just reaching out when you really need someone to talk to can really help you stay positive in a difficult time.
Okay, super. What else you got for us?
So, I guess be aware of your own negative self-talk. We all can convince ourselves of anything and really be super. It's actually the easiest thing to do for people is to complain and be very negative. And so, to be not, it does not take much work. If someone you're talking to doesn't want to complain, you can go to a stranger and start complaining, and they'll join in on you, and then complain about whatever they have to complain about. So being aware of that is really important, and also the things you tell yourself, oh no, I'm not good enough, or oh, this isn't gonna work out, or oh, it's never gonna get better. If you know, oh wait a minute, that I'm thinking that. Try to catch yourself and say, you know what? What's really true? What else can I think about, instead of like, oh, this isn't going to work out, say, you know what, maybe today's not the way I want it, but maybe later or tomorrow it'll be a lot better, or what can I learn from that situation? So those are just ways to be more positive when you're like bombarded with a lot of negative stuff. So another thing I suggest to help people feel more positive is to stay active. I am not talking about CrossFit, because immediately when you mention it, become active, people are like, I hate exercise. But, you know, it doesn't need to be exactly like something rigorous. It could be literally a walk. Like, so instead of driving in your car to the mailbox, if it's nearby, just walk or stretch. Or, you know, do some yoga poses. There's just a lot of different things that you can do. So I recommend, to stay active, do something that, one, you'll like to do, and two, that, you know, you'll be able to keep up with.
So what does the activity do for you?
I think what it does is it increases endorphins. I am not an exercise specialist, so don't quote me on anything that I'm exactly saying, but I do know about endorphins and how when you increase physical activity, you increase endorphins and you just feel better.
So it's your body's way of making you feel better.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, I think those are just like a few things that, you know, I kind of want to point out today of ways to stay positive.
Little baby steps.
Yeah, exactly. You know, I think oftentimes when I talk to people, they tell me that they think doing something is like a huge grand gesture. But it's like sometimes it's just a small little change or a small little positive thought that can make all the difference in the world. Like, we don't all need to do a great program or read this amazing book to have like a positive lifestyle or, you know, feel better. It's just, we all have the power within ourselves, and you just have to remember, you know, just those little things.
Okay, so it's all I need is within me.
Yeah, exactly.
Retrain my negative thoughts to be positive ones, and get a little move on.
Yeah, exactly. Get a little move on. Exactly.
Okay. How do we, for people who are suffering, how do you recognize, hey, I really need to reach out?
Right. So this is where it's good to reach out to friends and say, have you noticed any changes in me? And they can really be honest with you. Also, if you notice that you're not bathing as much, or you're not as active as you used to be, or you just don't enjoy things, then you should talk to a professional about it, and at least, you know, get an evaluation so that, you know, they can figure out, you know, what's going on.
Okay, super. So don't be isolated. Reach out to your friends, and if you really think
it's serious, you should, you know, seek out a professional.
Super.
When you're reaching out to friends, does it make a difference which friends you reach out to? Like, should you surround yourself with a certain level of people, or people that'll help you versus, you know, hinder you?
Yeah, actually, that's a really great point. So, I mean, as I was joking about earlier, where you like can complain, you know, maybe if you're really struggling with something, you need to reach out to someone you know that will, one, listen well, and be able to provide like some solid advice about, you know, what might be going on. And so surrounding yourself with positive people is really important.
And people who can be honest with you.
Yes, that's right. Really honest and transparent with you.
Super. Okay, and how do we, if somebody approaches us, if we've got a friend who comes to us, how do we recognize that we should get them into professional hands?
Well, it'll be what they say. Anyone that's saying they want to harm themselves, that definitely warrants seeking immediate professional help. Going to the local emergency room, you know, depending on how serious it is, calling 911 and telling them what's going on, or call mobile crisis. It's easily Googled online where you can call mobile crisis, or the suicide hotline as well if you're struggling with thoughts to kill yourself. So there is help.
I'm sure there is. So thank you for being with us.
Sure.
Any last words for our audience today?
Sure. I guess a lot of this, I mean, there's a lot of different things out there online to kind of like, you can look into, being positive or thinking positive. I think it's important to just find a few things that really kind of speak to you and plug into it, and then, I don't know, just, and you know, like I said, reach out if you really need help.
Super. Thanks for being with us today, Dr. Fitzgerald. We really appreciate it.
Sure, no problem. Thanks for having me.